Thank you for tuning in to Conversations for College Success. This is Instructor Jones, and I have over 12 years' experience working with college students. I will be talking with two successful college grads. First is Miss Imari Hill, a recent graduate of Kent State University. Second is Mrs. Michelle McKissack, who graduated from Northwestern University with 2 degrees. Reminder, you can submit questions to Conversations for College Success at hotmail.com. Thank you to my current subscribers, and I would like to invite new listeners to also subscribe. Thank you for attending this podcast with Instructor Jones and Imari Hill. Imari is a recent grad from Kent State University, and her degree is in music technology. Would you tell us about your degree?
Yes, so my music technology degree is a degree that consists of the concentrations of music production and audio recording. So I did that for the past 4 years. It was a bachelor's program, and I really enjoyed it.
What made you decide to major in music technology?
So I decided to major in music technology when in high school I found out that music was what I wanted to do for a career. And so when I was looking for colleges, I found Kent State University, and they had both the music production and audio recording aspect, like I said. And that was really important to me because I wanted to know both audio and music because they tie in together. You have to know at least a little bit of both to be successful in the music industry.
You also recently completed a technology program. Tell us about that.
So the technology program is called the Technology Apprenticeship Program. It was at the National Association of Broadcasters Leadership Foundation. This was a 6-month program, and during this program, I had to learn about broadcasting. And they had different companies come in. They had iHeartRadio and more, and they just talked about how do you work with radio frequencies, how do you work with television programming. And then at the end, during the 6-month program, we had the opportunity to do the Las Vegas NAB show. And during that NAB show, I got to see all the new technologies and different advances. And Amazon was there, which is a lot of different companies. So that was a wonderful experience. It allowed me to open my technical background and know more about not just music, but also broadcasting, industry.
That was great. Thank you so much for sharing that, because so often students want to major in something that they truly don't have an interest in. Either someone told them that's how they can make some money, or they just think it's the right industry to go in. And when you're passionate about something, you will always excel. So what is that saying? If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, or something along that line. So I think that's a great example of that. So thank you so much. Tell me also about how you're networking, which is because you're currently still looking for an opportunity. Tell us how that's going.
When it comes to networking, I typically do it very often when I freelance. So for example, when I was a sound mixer, I spoke with a multitude of people. There were actors, editors, producers, just a myriad of people on the set. And I would ask them questions about themselves so they can speak to me. In particular, I spoke with an actor. She told me how she started when she was very young, and then she decided to really take it seriously. So I got to get to know her more, and then I told her about myself, and then that's how we connected. So you can connect in different ways, but that was a way that I was able to connect with the actress. And then now I have a network to where if she knows anyone when she's working on set, she can suggest it to me. Vice versa, if I know somebody on set, like a director, maybe, I could suggest the director to her if they're looking for a specific person for a film.
I think that's great. And you also talk about freelancing. You put something up on LinkedIn, which I shared. Talk to me about that.
So on LinkedIn, I posted a production that I worked on, which was a fan film. And I worked with my friend. He's an incredible person. He's very smart, and he loves working on videos and different things like that. And he really wanted to take it seriously. So we met through another production, and he remembered me. and how I worked and my work ethic and everything. So he decided to reach out and ask me to record the orchestra. And I said, of course. And so I recorded the entire orchestra with just that setup. I sent him the files, and then he worked his magic and made everything sound really full and immersive and made it a wonderful project. So that was posted on YouTube. It has over 1 million views. So it got a lot of traction. And I'm just very proud of that project and that I took a risk, no matter how much technology I had, and just put my all in it.
Well, congratulations, because it was phenomenal, and that's why I shared it. So I hope you receive some type of follow-up. And if not, then share it again, and then I'll share it again and tell other people to do the same thing, because it was phenomenal. So continuing to make those contacts and connections are going to be important, and not only in that industry, but as you meet other people across your interactions, in events and things that you go to, let people know what you do. Also ask them about what they do, because invariably there could be a contact or connection there, but you wouldn't know it from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's I'll say a banker, a nonprofit organization, a corporation, CEO, etc. You don't know until you have the conversation. And once you start talking about what you do, they may either share what their experiences have been in that arena, or that they might know someone in that arena, and then they can potentially introduce you and continue to increase your network. So I think that's a great thing to do. Any final comments or thoughts that you might have as it relates to helping others?
I would say whatever you do, make sure that you're passionate about it if you can. No matter what area you work in, make sure you're passionate, network like we talked about, and just really work at what you do, and make sure that sometimes you have to do a little bit extra. Like, for example, being in the music industry is not a easy industry to get into. So I decided to work in broadcasting, work in TV, work in film, do all those things. So when people look at my resume, or even when I talk to them, it's not just music focused. I have a huge technological background that people can look at. So I would say try to really focus on what you do, work hard. If you have to do a little bit of extra to get it through a door, I would say do it. So that's my final say.
I agree. Always going above and beyond. It makes a difference. You may not think people are watching or paying attention.
Right.
People always are paying attention. And I can share with you that people will remember who took the extra steps, went the extra mile, or just quite frankly followed up when they asked them to do something. Those will be the people that others look to when they have opportunities, because you always want someone that you can rely on and is really good with follow-up. So thank you so much, Imari Hill. And this concludes our conversation today. Thank you so much. You are listening to Conversations for College Success. This is Instructor Jones, and I have with me Michelle McKissack, award-winning journalist and candidate for mayor of the city of Memphis. My first question is going to be, why did you go to college?
I went to college because I needed more training. Growing up, I loved reading, I loved writing, and I knew that I wanted to translate that into a career in journalism. And so I knew that the school that I went to had a really good program. I attended Northwestern University, and I just wanted to explore more about how to go about being a solid journalist. So that's what led me to go to college, and it just kind of delayed growing up for a few more years.
Well, that was a great university to attend. How did you decide or select that college?
I did a lot of research, and it was actually my dad helped me with all of that. You know, this is before we had the internet, and so we actually had to go to the library, and we checked out a book called The Peterson's Guide to Colleges. And so we looked through that book to see what schools might be a good fit for me in terms of journalism programs, English writing programs. And this is the one that I centered upon. It just seemed to be a good fit. It was close to Chicago. And so I wanted that bigger city feel. I know some people like to go to smaller liberal arts colleges, but I just wanted that bigger city feel. And it worked out really well. And I enjoyed my time there at Northwestern.
Well, it was a great success, because I think you said you have been a television personality, which is outstanding. How does that translate into becoming mayor?
I know. I've taken a real circuitous route to get to running for mayor of Memphis. It actually, after a long career in television, I was a reporter, I was a news anchor in multiple cities, but most recently in Memphis. And then when I started having my family, I have 4 children. I say children, but my kids range in age from 12 to 25. And but I just became an engaged parent, and I was PTO president, and then we're just advocating not just for my kids, but for other children. I'm just passionate about public education and making sure every child got what they needed, no matter what neighborhood they came from, that they got what they deserved. And so would go to our state capital in Nashville and advocate for there. And then finally, one day my sister said, "Hey, Michelle, had you thought about running for school board?" So in 2018, I did. And from there, just being board chair at the height of the pandemic and seeing the needs between what the city could be doing more for our young people. And so an opportunity that came up where there was no incumbent running, and I felt that I had something that I could share to make our city better. So that's what led to a career in now running for mayor.
Well, I think that is outstanding. And I say that from the standpoint, sometimes it's difficult to get students to understand that your passion will allow you to be extremely successful. You can go into any career you want and do so, but if it's your passion, you will soar. So I think you said you have an election coming up, and would you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. And you're so right. I mean, everything that I've done in my career has helped me as I run for office, as I run for mayor, just being a strong communicator. That is something that I'm bringing from my broadcast career into this role of serving as the next mayor, being able to articulate those ideas, writing well. All of that has helped shape me who I am. And the election is coming up right around the corner. October 5th is when we'll have that election. I'm not sure when this broadcast will run, but, in a couple of weeks, we'll know who's going to be the next mayor of Memphis. And I certainly hope that it's going to be me, Michelle McKissack.
Well, I certainly hope it's going to be you as well. And I'll say a special prayer because that would just be phenomenal. I think you also said you would be the first female mayor of the city. And that would be true probably for a number of cities. So I think it's wonderful that you have the desire, you have the dedication, you have the stamina. All those things are important in a career like that. And we wish you all the best. And I will definitely make sure I connect with you after, because you're right. This probably will not air before you're elected, but I'll be able to say that you are elected.
Oh,
positive energy.
That's right. I'll take all the positivity. Thank you, Instructor Jones. This has really been a lot of fun.
Same here. Thank you so much. And best of luck. And again, saying prayers for you. Take care.
Bye.